Hello, folks, and welcome to the weekly pit stop here at DEADPIT.com. We're your source for all things horror-related. I am Uncle Bill.
And I am the Creepy Kentuckian. This week, we celebrate Christmas with some of the best Christmas movies, one of the best Christmas movies that I can think of.
That's right. We have Bob Clark's seminal masterpiece, Black Christmas.
The new special edition
Look at that one. Isn't that
from
nice?
Critical Mass. Our good pals in Canada.
So, yeah, this movie has a couple of special editions now, and we're going to be talking about both of them.
Yeah.
Another one being this lovely edition.
Yeah.
Which
That was released by Critical Mass also a couple of years ago. So we're going to be talking about that. First of all, let's talk about the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Anyone who has heard of Black Christmas knows that it was the movie that inspired John Carpenter to make Halloween.
Yeah, aside from Psycho, probably one of the very first slasher movies of this era, and probably kind of defined the way that we view slasher movies today. And it starts off in a sorority house, as most good slasher films do, and you have Olivia Hussey, you have Margot Kidder, and you have John Saxon, and those are the three main leads in the film. John Saxon plays a police officer, and Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder are two sorority girls inside this house who are being stalked by an unknown assailant who is kind of making obscene phone calls throughout the film to them.
And they are very obscene,
Yeah.
folks. You know, if you got young children, you probably don't want them to hear it. The movie creates suspense with what you don't see, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. You know, a lot of the movies that come out today, you know, I feel that you see too much of the assailant, the killer, whatever. This movie, you don't see the killer at all, really. You see just eye shots and shots of his hand as he's murdering a young college student. But, you know, the movie, as we were recently talking to the director, Bob Clark, it is one that is truly terrifying. And if you have a weak heart, I wouldn't recommend it.
One of the very first movies, by the way, to include the killer's point of view.
Yep.
And a point of view camera, and also one of the very few movies to use, first horror movies I should say, to use the obscene phone call, you know, coming from inside of the house type of thing.
Yeah, that was later ripped off from When a Stranger Calls, and parodied with Scream.
Yeah.
Scream did a few years
But
ago.
this is a classic, folks. It doesn't get much, you know, more landmark than this movie.
Yeah. If you want a scary movie, just one that you may, you know, a few people may not have seen this movie, and you know that the remake is coming up on Christmas Day, I would highly recommend this movie, though, if you truly, you know, want to be terrified, because, you know, there's not many movies like this around today. So, you know, odds are the remake of Black Christmas isn't going to scare you like the original.
And here's one thing about the film, though. A lot of people seem to be divided about the ending of the film, because, not to give anything away, but it is controversial the way that it's ended.
It's open ending.
Yeah,
really,
they don't really make films that do this anymore. They usually have like a backstory that's, you know, the whole entire film, as with, you know, Texas Chainsaw Massacre prequel and things that come out today. But this film is unique in that regard, and you either love the ending of this film or you hate it. I know a lot of people that hate it, a lot of people that love it.
Yeah.
But it is truly unique, one or the other.
A lot of people love the film, though, either way. Like, if you don't like the ending, they still love the film because, you know, even predates a lot of the Argento movies that does the same thing, creates the same suspense with stuff that you don't see. So, anyway, let's talk a little bit about the DVD itself. The new special edition from Critical Mass.
Yeah, the Critical Mass releasing special edition.
2006 version
Yeah,
special edition.
yeah, I guess we should say. Talk about some of the bonus material that's on here. You've got digitally remastered anamorphic video, newly created 5.1 stereo surround audio. You've got two original scenes with new vocal soundtracks. You've got the 12 Days of Black Christmas, an all-new documentary featuring Art Hindle, Doug McGrath, and Lynn Griffin, among others. You have separate interviews with Olivia Hussey and Margot Kidder. I know you have a midnight Q&A session with John Saxon.
Very interesting, too.
And Bob Clark, who's the director of the film. And also the composer, Carl Ritter. And that's basically it. And the weird thing about we were talking about this is the new special edition that was released from Critical Mass. The older special edition that we mentioned before that was released, actually is kind of better as far as the extras go, because it does have two commentaries that run throughout the course of the movie, one with Bob Clark and one with John Saxon and Keir Dullea. So, who was the male lead in the film.
Right.
And so it's also got a documentary including current interviews with a lot of the stars, as this one does too. But
thing is about this, though, we must say, is the new edition is available in stores. You can find it.
Yeah,
whereas
the older edition is almost
it was
out of
impossible
print.
to find. Yeah. Anyway, when it came out, it was impossible to find. You pretty much had to order it. So I know with the new one, you can find it in your local Best Buy, your local Circuit City. So we would both, I'm pretty sure, highly recommend the new special edition of Black Christmas from Critical Mass.
Yeah, I definitely recommend it because I think it cleaned up a little bit better. Plus, you have, the Midnight Q&A, which was done recently with Bob Clark, which is really probably the best extra on there.
Yeah, and it's just a great movie.
Yeah, and the movie itself is well worth buying. If you're just looking for the movie, definitely pick this up.
Yeah, I know there's a few people that probably haven't seen it, and, I would definitely recommend you seeing it before you see the remake at least. I know we're both going to go see the remake, but, nothing is better than the original.
Let's try to, if you haven't seen the original and you go see the remake, at least go back and look at the original, because I'm sure that it'll be a superior film.
That's how it usually works. But, that's the pit stop for this week. And be sure to go check us out. Every week we have a new radio show up at DEADPIT.com.
That's Horror Talk Radio, folks.
And,
it's all horror all the time.
Until next time, I'm Creepy Kentucky.
And I am Uncle Bill.
And we'll see you right here at HorrorChannel.com.